Hey White Sox fans, I needed to come in and make an unplanned, unexpected video because I've just got to shout out Yermín Mercedes. What in the world? Where have you been? This is one of the great feel-good stories in all of baseball right now, and I just had to take a minute to do a video just to shout out Yermín. I am planning on doing a video at the end of this week that's a recap of the last week and a half of baseball and a look forward, look around the league, analyze what's going on with the White Sox, the good and the bad. There might be a little bit more bad than good, but there's still a lot of good, even though our record might not show it so much right now. But even in this video, I will take a look at one stat at the end of the video to analyze what's going on with the team. That is something I always look at after 5 games into the season, so I thought I'd do that with you now. But this video is really about the man of the hour, Yermín Mercedes, and I can't tell you how much of a joy it's been to watch him. I'm sure you all feel the same way, and honestly, as he was picking up consecutive hit number 5, 6, 7, 8. I was really thinking of a lot of you by name, thinking, oh my gosh, they must be cheering and jumping around the room as much as I am right now, because I know these people were such big fans of his and supporters, and wow. Nobody could have imagined that he would have attacked Major League pitching the way he does. I got to say as well that some people are already saying like, oh, is he a Rookie of the Year candidate? And normally I would say, hey, come on, slow down. It's a long season. It's been 4 games. However, I've seen a lot in his plate appearances that make me think this could be sustainable. Not at this level, of course, but he does not look overmatched. He handled Ohtani, even though he still ended up striking out. I think that was one of the plate appearances that actually impressed me the most. Ohtani was throwing around 100 miles an hour, and he was still able to foul off pitches with those last-second decisions. That's a professional hitter right there. And talk about bat speed. To have a late decision that, oh, I should foul this off, or try to make contact, and he can actually get around on a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. That upper body strength is unreal. So yeah, this video has to start with his first ever start. He ended up going 5 for 5, making Nick Madrigal's 4 for 4 game in Kansas City last year look pretty run-of-the-mill. And then it was just crazy. 3 more hits to start the next game in Anaheim. And I really do have to give a shout out to Jason Benetti and Steve Stone, who made the experience so fun. They had so many great calls and so many re-quotable moments. And the one I've said over and over again already is the two of them talking, and essentially the quote is, it's not uncommon to tune into a game and say, wow, that's something I've never seen before. But sometimes you tune into a game and say, wow, that's something nobody's seen before. And that is just so remarkable in this world of baseball that has been going on for well over 100 years. Tens, if not hundreds of thousands of games have been played. And to see something that nobody has ever seen before, it's something that can happen at any given moment, and that's why you tune into the games. That's why this is such a beautiful sport. And while, yes, that 8 for 8 start is historic and amazing and just so exceptional, I think one of the things that's been really exciting to me is that he has continued to hit even after he had his streak broken, fittingly caught by Mike Trout. That only makes that story a little bit more legendary as future generations will talk about Yermín Mercedes. But you think after the streak is broken that maybe he'd come out a little bit flat the next time, or he'd be putting too much pressure on himself to try to get a new streak going, and he'd be forcing himself and pressing, and it just wouldn't work out. But he has continued to hit with another 3-hit game yesterday. So looking at the stats, he has 12 hits, which leads the team, of course. 12 hits. Second most hits on the team is Luis with 5, and then 4 apiece for Abreu, Eaton, Grandal, and Moncada. Of course, it's some of those rate stats that are the most eye-popping. That is a .667 batting average, a 1,000 slugging percentage, and an on-base plus slugging of 1684. He has picked up 3 doubles, 1 home run, and I was going to make a joke about him getting maybe the rarest type of hit for him, being an infield single in Anaheim. But before I could even make the joke, last night he got another one in Seattle. He also last night worked a very patient, long at-bat that ended up in a walk. So we are seeing more than just sheer power and bat speed. Also, in those 4 games, just 4 games, he's already logged 18 total bases, which again is by far the most on the team. Yasmani Grandal is second with 8. And of course, one of the things I really love to see is that some of those hits have been very clutch. He's got 6 RBI on the year so far, and some of them have come in big game situations. Right now, the Sox are struggling with runners in scoring position, but not Yermín. Before I get into the final stat that I teased at the beginning of the game, I know a lot of people want daily content, and by all means, if I could do this daily, I absolutely would. But I do have a day job. It's really tough to carve out this time, but I do it because I love it. So it's a hobby. I wish I could do it every single day, and maybe we'll grow enough to the point that I can do it every single day. But until then, I am tweeting just about every single day, and I do full threads of game recaps, what my takeaways are on each game. So if you're a Twitter person and want to follow that, that's just my name, Scott Marcus. The image is of me in profile holding a video camera, as I usually am doing. All right, so the final stat I wanted to get into today when looking at the team as a whole, and I'm going to have to try to stop myself from doing too much of a deep dive analysis because that's something I want to do this coming weekend. But I always look at who the team leaders are on the pitching staff when it comes to innings pitched after 5 games, after each member of the rotation has had an opportunity to start. And what I look for is I want to make sure that the top 5 pitchers on this team are starters. That we don't have bullpen guys that have thrown more innings than our starters. And a quick look, we do have the top 5 being all starters, with a possible exception, a tie for 5th place with Michael Kopech and Dallas Keuchel having each thrown just 4 innings. This is surprisingly positive to see. It's not uncommon for somebody, especially when you start looking at 3, 4, 5 starter, to last maybe 2 or 3 innings for their first start of the season. That's not at all uncommon. So the fact that, you know, even though we haven't had lights out performances from everybody, yes, Lance Lynn has an ERA of 0, but he only went 4 2/3 innings. He gave up some walks. Dylan Cease had a really rough start the other day, but I mean just the start of that start. And then he settled in and was really good, but the damage had already been done. And the fact that Dallas Keuchel didn't throw all that much in spring training is maybe showing. Mark Burley, I think, only went 2/3 of an inning on opening day or something very short like that. Even though this doesn't look super glitzy, this is actually a very positive start to the season as far as the White Sox are concerned. We don't have too many relievers that have thrown too much. I think Matt Foster having thrown 3 times already is a little high. Hopefully he doesn't get overused. We don't want him to be the next Jimmy Cordero. But we do have guys like Garrett Crochet and Liam Hendricks who've only pitched once. Of course, I will say Hendricks should have pitched twice. He should have been in the end of that game in LA, but we'll get to that this weekend. So yes, the White Sox right now are sporting a record of just 2-3. Not horrible, but below what we wanted them to do. They looked so great last night in Seattle. I will check in with you after the home opener, and I will try to post some other short videos in the meantime, but also check me out on Twitter if you want to follow game-to-game analysis. So for now, go Sox, and batter up Yermín.